We are back. The question is the MCU back as well? We're going to dive into it. It is finally here. The first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. We've been waiting for this for a long time. And we're about to dive into it. We're going to react. We're going to review. And we're going to go deep. We always go deep on this channel. Real quick, a couple of housekeeping things. My name is Carson Quinnell. The guy on your screen to my right is my guy Tyrel Shock is here.
What's going on, entertain nerds, dude?
What's up, nerds? We're a
I
relatively
hope
new
everybody's
channel.
ready to jump in.
Right.
Yeah.
We're a relatively new channel. So if you enjoyed the video, consider giving us a sub, give us a like, comment down below. Tell us what your favorite part of the episode was. One more thing. This is a spoiler reaction and review. So if you've not seen the episodes, first of all, what are you doing here if you haven't seen the episodes? Go watch the episodes. Then come back and get into it with us. So, for the second time, spoiler warning. For a third time, spoilers. Okay, that's 3 times now. If you're still here, you're on your own.
Carson,
what
can I
happened?
tell him something real quick?
Yeah, what's
Can I
up?
tell him something real quick? Spoiler alerts. There's going to be spoiler alerts.
Good call. Good call. I
All
forgot.
right.
I forgot. So, hey, did we mention spoilers?
Spoilers. First spoiler.
Spoilers.
That guy on X screwed us hard, dude. Spoiler alerted us with the Foggy death. He told us all about it.
What did they do? What did they do
What
to
a
us?
chode. That guy was a chode. He told us and it happened.
Okay. So let's take a step back. I think everybody can tell. We're both very happy with how we've started.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get into this. Oh, there goes Ty. There we go. Can't have another window up, I guess. Hi, Ty's back. So, Ty, let's talk about that opening scene. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, dude.
How are you doing after that?
It was good, dude. I was kind of like, they tell you that it's instantly going to hop into it. And I'm thinking like 30 seconds in, boom, it's already happening. And, there's some build up. And they're like walking out of their, law firm, I should say. And then they walk down to the bar and they're drinking at the bar and all is happy-go-lucky. And then it kind of just flips that switch at the drop of a hat, And, oh, God, dude. I wish I could have maybe just like seen some more close up in the bar. They're kind of further back. It's very dark lighting. I mean, I don't know how many knives, Daredevil took to the back and the chest. I wish I could see more of that. Maybe that's just the weird part of me, but yeah, dude, epic. And then, he's not even focusing all his attention on Bullseye. I mean, he's trying to listen in to make sure Foggy's okay, and so he's kind of like fighting 2 battles at the same time. And then you tell them about the stairwell into the rooftop. I mean, that's just epic, dude.
Man, it got hot and heavy there real fast. I mean, if you're a veteran TV show movie watcher, the 3 of them, they're happy, they're going to the bar, you just know something horrible's about to happen. And we'd seen stuff online that kind of gave us an inkling. Right.
Yeah.
And I thought in my head, I was like, all right, Foggy's probably toast, but so we'll see how it hits me. Dude, still crazy. That stairwell fight, and to your point, knives, so many knives.
How many knives?
Dude, he looked like a damn porcupine by the time we're done. So I'm sitting here,
Right.
I'm like, okay, so he's got to have some sort of body armor in there and just pure adrenaline. So the fight was epic. There's the shot where Bullseye comes walking out of the smoke. Cinema. Cinematic. And I love how much they use Daredevil's, like, I don't know what you want to call it, like a whip nunchuck thing to move around. That's like a major point of his from the comics, and they come out right away, and man, it's so cool, so cool. So hot out the gate, great fight, long fight, brutal, bloody.
Very well, like a fair battle. They're both whooping the shit out of
Yeah,
each other.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And I mean, it's like Daredevil's blocking knives, and but he was just pulling knives out of his bum at this point. I'm like,
Blocking,
where are all these
blocking
knives?
knives,
Yeah,
blocking knives with his chest and his back, I guess.
dude, I was just what I was crazy was they start the bar fight, and Bullseye just immediately just starts slaughtering like bar patrons.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey lady,
Yeah.
knife to the face. Oh hey dude, knife to the leg. Just like
Yeah, what did
meanwhile
they
he's
say?
trying to fight Daredevil the whole time.
11 counts of murder. Is that what they said in the
Something
trial?
like
Was it
that. Yeah.
10 or 11? Yeah.
Yeah. So that fight already is one of the top fights in this show, Netflix show included. Choreography was amazing. The rooftop punches, there were some of those punches that they were pretty choreographed. They didn't look too great.
Yeah.
That's nitpicking.
Mhm.
And then of course he throws him off the roof with the full intention of murdering
Him
this
dying.
guy. Yeah.
Yep.
Just in pure rage. So,
Yep.
one thing that I didn't notice was until like a little later was he comes falling off the roof. Karen's sitting there like with Foggy's corpse. She hears the thud behind her, and she just like freezes. And in my head, I'm like, what's her? Why is she turning around? And then I realized like, oh, she doesn't know if that was Bullseye or if it was Matt.
Right.
So she's just
Right.
like, I might have just lost my two best friends in the world. So she's turning around slowly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, she doesn't know. She's just praying that it's not Daredevil.
Yeah.
And
I think they got that across like perfectly because I had the same thought process as you. When I saw that part, I'm like, she is turning slowly because she doesn't know if she's going to see Matt or if she's going to see Bullseye. And I think it's a lose-lose regardless because she's like, what did, Matt do? Why is she pushing this dude off the roof? Because that's not supposed to be, a vigilante of justice. But no, yeah, I felt the same way in that scene. I was just like, yeah, she doesn't know if she's about to lose two friends in the same day or what. So
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
a moment of pure weakness for him. Like he's just not even
Yeah.
thinking. He just lost his best friend. Everything was great in his life, and just like
Yeah.
that, it's all terrible. So,
went from sipping a Guinness to having to lose his best friend and
yeah.
possibly kill someone. Yeah,
What were your thoughts
rough.
on Bullseye not dying there?
yeah. Does he have? I mean, like, he obviously has to have some sort of super strength, human something going on. I mean, I guess you could survive that fall, right? But face first into concrete, and then, I mean, the trial is a year later, but he looks like pretty good for a dude who fell. What is that? That was a pretty big fall. I don't know how many stories we would say. We
At
should
least-
count how many stairwells they went up.
At least two. At least,
I-
well,
I mean, it had to have
maybe
been like
three.
4.
Yeah. You're
I was
probably
thinking
right.
like 4.
Yeah.
That's
And
40 feet.
40
That's
feet,
a lot.
face first, hard pavement. Oh, and he just took like 7 knives, deflected from Daredevil, probably broken bones, internal injuries.
Right, right.
And he just did like the horror movie, like, brr, like open his eyes. And part of me was like,
Did that glitch?
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
That fight was
agree.
awesome, so I'll buy it. But, and then
But hey, I mean, if Wilson Fisk can survive a bullet to the face
Oh.
from Echo,
took you 9 minutes. 9 minutes to bring it up. All right, we better move on, or we're gonna be here
Yep,
all night.
yep.
And at the end, the cop, Cherry, the cop's name, sees him. Obviously, sees it's Matt. We see,
Yep.
and then we do a little bit of a time jump, right? And do you
1
remember?
year.
Was it 1 year? Okay, I missed that.
1 year. Yep.
Shout out to my guy Ty for being on top of the timeline. You're goated. So I was gonna pull up the show on another screen, just kind of go through scene by scene. Trying to think what comes next. Well, we see Matt in his apartment. He has the memorial page from what I'm assuming is Foggy's funeral, and then I believe we jump to...
So that was a year later, so it was
That was a
either
year
the
later. Yep.
1 year. Yep. Yeah, they do the year later, so it could have been the 1 year anniversary. That's what he was holding, but it also might have just been something with the trial because that's what he was also going to do was to stand trial against Bullseye.
Yep.
Basically just saying like, I know we'll never get justice for Foggy because I'll never get to see him again, but if this guy could just go to prison for the rest of his life, that would be great. And that's what they do. They sentence him to 11 consecutive life sentences or whatever.
Yep.
So that's kind of where that jumps to. And then we see that he's now working side by side with, well, I guess skip back real quick.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I got it pulled up here, so, but you continue going.
Yeah. I was going to say, come back a little bit after the trial. We find out that Karen is living in San Francisco. They're no longer together. So that's kind of a big chunk of the story as well.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
We jumped over. We forgot about the next thing we see after that is Vanessa is now in charge of Kingpin's crime organization. Basically, he's been gone. Now he's back, and there's I mean, she's in charge now, and things are going well. And Kingpin comes back and says, "I'm back. Thanks for doing it well." And she's not.
She didn't like that.
She's not feeling it.
She don't like that.
No, I was thinking we might have like a, oh, my love, you're back. I'm so happy to have you back, and
no,
she ain't about it. So I like that. I like that interesting twist there.
So, question for you.
Yeah.
Still was trying to piece it together. It's probably a dumb question. They're on the rooftop together. After he wins and becomes mayor. And he says, "I know about Adam." And she said, "Please don't kill him." What Adam were they talking about? And why can my brain not understand who they're talking about?
I don't know, man.
I was like, who's this Adam guy? So
I mean,
I thought maybe I missed something, but
I didn't catch it either, unless it's from the previous Netflix series or some throwback. But I can't remember anybody. Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't remember anyone that was named Adam. So I thought, I was like, maybe they were talking about she hired Bullseye for the attack on Daredevil, or Daredevil's friends, or Matt Murdock or whatever, but no, because his name is Benjamin. So yeah, I was totally lost on that part, but everything else, yeah, show went together very well for the first two episodes.
Yep. Then we go to Poindexter's trial, Bullseye's trial. Pretty cut and dry. Matt testifies. They give him life sentences, and we might see him again. I believe I saw him in the trailer in prison, if I'm not mistaken. So we're probably going to see him again. And then Karen shows up, and her and Matt's relationship is not great, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see. And I think it's kind of from what exactly. From what it sounds like, Matt was kind of distant after Foggy's death, kind of left her on her own. She didn't like that. She moved to San Francisco, and now she's kind of had enough of him, and I think he regrets it. So this was a tough scene to watch. It was really sad. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of like, hey, my best friend just died and I needed time and space and I'm sorry. And then she's kind of like, my best friend died too, And so I think, yeah, he kind of abandoned her and was in a weak moment. And yeah, it sucks, dude. You kind of see how good they are in that first little bit. Like, they're in a really good relationship, right? These two people love each other. And yeah, it sucks to see that they're just not going to work it out. They're not even going to try. So,
yep.
But I think they had to move on. I don't know if she'll come back or how that is all going to work, or if that was part of their way of getting her off the series or what. So it will be interesting to see. But yep, I think they're just trying to show, Daredevil's kind of decline or Matt Murdock's kind of decline. He's got to build himself back up and whatnot. So
yep.
Rough for sure.
Yeah, and I remember hearing that Karen and Foggy were not a part of the original show before Feige cut it off and did the reshoots. They brought them back after that, so it might have been let's put you in the first episode, kill Foggy, and then Karen just kind of F's off, for lack of a better term. So we might not see her again. It'll be
Kind of what I was wondering.
right. It's an interesting dynamic, though. It'd be cool if they delved into it a little more. Um, Next thing we see is Mr. Wilson Fisk announces his candidacy for mayor, and for for obvious reasons, Matt's not super thrilled about that. Um, and the interesting thing was, it seems like about half the city is not thrilled with it as well.
Yeah.
So they're kind of setting up this public-facing collision between these two, which is very interesting. Yeah, it was a few scenes about him running for mayor.
It was split 50-50 for the people, and it was also split 50-50 for the police force. So that was another big part of him running, is a lot of the policemen, they didn't know if they'd stick around the commissioner, which is something that we'll probably get to here in a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of, I think a lot of people that were like, yeah, we need him in there, and a lot of people that were like, this dude is a thug, why would we want him running for mayor? So
yeah, but
hey, surprise, surprise, guess who wins mayor? Not sure if anyone could guess. So.
Yeah, it'd be kind of, I was like, all right, well, Mr. Fisk didn't win mayor. That's Daredevil. Thank you for watching.
Yep.
No, it's,
right.
and they get to it in this episode. I like how they didn't mess around. Like, yeah, he's going to be the mayor. Like, I was hoping, like, are they really going to make us wait, like, 4 episodes? Like, we know he's going to win. Mm-hmm. They got right to it. I love that. Speaking, on the other hand, of things that I didn't necessarily love, not that I didn't love it, but I was just not super interested, is the next scene is where Matt gets set up on an involuntary blind date.
Yeah.
There has to be a love interest, obviously, just because otherwise how is Kingpin going to manipulate him, or, you know. So I was like, all right, it was fine, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to split it up. They can't just show us, like, depressed Matt Murdock and then, like, I'm going to destroy you, Daredevil. They have to show, like, a different side of Matt Murdock. So I get where they're at with it. At first, I thought they were trying to say that Matt Murdock needed a therapist, because she's like, yeah, I was told to come and meet you as a therapist. And I was like, oh, damn, dude. Like,
yeah,
obviously this chick thinks you're pretty messed up in the mind and you need to be a therapist. So. But no, I mean, we obviously see that they have a love interest, and it is actually growing pretty fast just in 2 episodes. One thing I did notice about the show is it time lapses pretty fast. I mean, we have the year later, and then, I mean, we have the I'm going to run for mayor. Oh, now I am the mayor. And, I mean, it kind of seems like these guys have already been going on dates for a while, because she's already like, hey, you're going to owe me tonight. So, I mean, it's kind of... Yeah. I think the show progresses multiple days in between scenes sometimes, kind of how it feels. Not hard to follow by any means, and that's not what I'm saying. It's just like, right. I think it time lapses pretty good. So
no, and I think I actually appreciate that. A lot of this stuff is like the relationship developing. Like, we don't need 2 or 3 episodes to figure that out. Like, yeah, it's fine. Everybody knows how a relationship develops. They went on dates. Mm-hmm. It was fun. They like each other. It's how it works. So I don't need 4 episodes. Right. So I like how they're just like, yep, here's what happened. This is what it is. And you know, maybe by the end of this show, I actually will care about, can't even remember her name. Maybe I will care about her. But for now, in this episode, it was
Heather?
Heather, yep.
I might be wrong, but
I think you're probably right. That sounds right. But they gave me just enough of Heather, like, okay, cool. I get it. She's there, and they didn't overdo it. So I appreciate that. Let's see here. The next thing we see is, I'm trying to think. We see him talking to Cherry a little bit. His former police investigator contact. Seems like Cherry's kind of his inside guy now as an attorney when he needs him to look into stuff.
Yeah.
Very interesting relationship there, because he obviously knows who Matt used to be. So, you know, that's something that could cause some friction later on. Cherry's obviously probably a big reason why he's not being Daredevil right now. Probably kind of see him as like a guiding force, a rock, like, hey, I'm trying to keep you from going back to that dark place, which, let's be honest, we all want to see him go back to the dark place.
Yeah.
It's only a matter
Also,
of time.
I think Matt Murdock is the reason why he hasn't gone back to Daredevil more than
Oh, for
Cherry.
sure.
Like he said, he crossed that line that shouldn't be crossed when he was talking to Fisk in the diner, and yeah, I think that's a lot of the reasons why he was. I think he's scared to go back to Daredevil because he's like, I don't know if I can control that darkness again. You know,
Yep.
the next person I touch is gonna die a horrid death if I go back to Daredevil. That's kind of what I'm thinking. He's scared of that
Yeah.
power or going back to that. So,
Speaking of that
but
scene in the diner, what'd you think about that? I really liked it.
yeah, like we said, they have very few interactions where they're in the same scene together, and yeah, when they are in a scene together, they're both so good. They bounce off each other so well. There's so much suspense built up, and I mean, they're kind of just like calling each other out for their bullshit. He's just like, you know, you're running for mayor. What are you trying to get out of this? Because I know it's not, you know, gonna be good or lawful. And then he's just like, well, hey, how have you been doing? You know, I heard the last time you were Daredevil, you almost killed Bullseye, you know, and then he's just like, do you have any kids? And he goes, no, but I heard you did, and I heard she shot you in the face. And, you know, so they kind of just bouncing off each other and throwing shade on each other a little bit. What about you? What'd you think of the...
Yeah, it was your typical posturing with words. Like, basically just saying, like, if you step out of line, I'm going to be there. Well, if you step out of line, I'm going to be there. He's like, well, I'm going to be there first. Or,
My dick's bigger.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's obviously setting up a lot of tension. I like the line where we heard it in the trailer, obviously, but he's like, it's not entirely unpleasant to see you. So I think there's a certain amount of respect there. Maybe not from Matt's part towards him, but I think Kingpin definitely has respect for Matt and who he is, and I think there's obviously some sort of respect there for Matt because I think he kind of insinuates like if you're really just trying to help the city, stay in your lane, that's fine, but
yeah,
there's a lot of distrust there. Yeah, I think so too. So, but for obvious reasons, like I said, there's like some serious distrust there. Like, dude, don't try anything, or I'm gonna be there, which is what we expected. So, very tense scene, awesome scene. The guy who runs up to the window and bangs on it, and Kingpin's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, dude, cool. I'm in the middle of something. So, yeah, great scene. Let's see, what do we have next?
That puts us into the second episode.
Shortly after that, it's announced that Wilson Fisk wins the mayoral campaign. Obviously, there's a great scene. The cinematography in this scene where Kingpin's on top of the roof and it's all dark and the light's kind of shining on him, where he looks kind of like an evil tone to it, where he's like, I'm back in control. That's the scene where he talks to Vanessa about Adam, whoever that is. Sure, we'll find out. And then the cliffhanger in episode 1 is we see who I'm assuming is Muse painting on the wall with it was Kingpin's face, maybe taking a mask off or something like that. It was hard to tell.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's pretty much
You
our...
could tell out Fisk, and that
ending
was
for
about the
episode
gist of it.
What's that?
Yep. I said you could tell it was Fisk, and that was kind of like the gist of it.
Yep.
So.
Episode 1 was fantastic.
Yep. No, I'm not going to skip ahead because what I was about to ask you was for episode 2, so I'll let you keep going.
Oh, no, you're good,
I'll
man.
ask you when we get in episode 2. I was going to say there's 2 guys that get their book signed by Daredevil's new girlfriend at her book reading, and one of those guys, right, is probably or has to be Muse. Potentially the first guy, maybe the second. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I think the first guy is Muse, because the second guy is Kingpin's assistant or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So the first kid has got to be Muse.
Right.
That's my thinking. So
I actually didn't catch that, and then when I was saying it, I was like, "Oh, that actually makes sense," because they ended up having the couples counseling. So
yeah. So the beginning of this episode,
guys, they all look the same.
Right. At the beginning of this episode, we get the White Tiger fight,
Rawr.
who we're pretty sure is White Tiger. I think most people knew, like, this is from the trailer, this is White Tiger. But he tries to be a hero. Two guys are apparently mugging this person in the subway, 2-on-1. They're beating the crap out of him. Classic double team. And he steps in, fights him. Accidentally, ? Gets one of them hit by a subway. And then after that happens, the other guy pulls out a gun and shows him his badge. Oh no, they're cops. So if only he had a lawyer.
He knew that train was coming. Right, yeah. Wonder what that's gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean, he tripped over the guy, and yeah, just kind of wrong place, wrong time. We all saw that in the commercials too, or the trailers, and you're like, hey, I didn't realize that a guy was gonna get, exploded in front of this train in this scene. So it was cute.
No, I think you're right. I think it was definitely.
Do you think that guy made it? You think that guy that got hit by the train made it?
I think there's always a chance. Maybe zombies later. Maybe he comes back and just bites Daredevil's face off. That'd be kind of crazy.
They're all just like blaming him for killing a cop, but really this cop's still alive.
Right, he's just laid under the subway.
Slightly. I mean, if Bullseye can survive a 40-foot fall, like this guy could survive a train.
Yeah, I mean, if they threw Kingpin in front of that train, he'd be fine, right? According to you, he'd probably get up and just walk. Yeah.
According to me, dude, it's in the comics and the show. Go watch Echo. Shot right in the eyeball. His eyeball doesn't even come out. He actually has the scars. You can see it. That lady's like, do you want me to touch up your eye? And he's like, Arr. He seemed scared. Didn't Kingpin kind of seem scared when he got the position as mayor?
He did. He seemed a little... He was kind of like, okay, get another shot at this. Yeah, like, here we go. Mm-hmm. I think he was torn because I think he's worried about Vanessa and their relationship, which we'll get into in a little bit here.
I think he wants to go straight and narrow, and I think he's afraid that it's not going to go straight and narrow. So
right. I don't think he can't help himself. He's trying to figure out, how do I do that? So there is a scene in Kingpin's office with him and his assistant where he's talking about his father, and he's talking about the old desk, how old it's been, or how old it is. She mentions that the public is having concerns about the appearance of his marriage. And she basically politely tells him, like, you need to get that shit figured out. And he replies with, like, yeah, it's rough. Can you give me a second? For lack of a better term, like, back off a little bit. So that's pretty much the only important thing in that in that scene. Do you remember anything else?
No, that was just about it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they threw out names that we just didn't recognize when he's talking about, the people sitting at that desk, but I don't think that had anything to do with anything, so.
Yeah.
Basically,
pretty standard.
He's got to figure shit out with his wife.
Yep. Kind of just implying, like, that matters in the public view, so. Next we go to the police station. Matt is talking to one of his clients, and he overhears Hector, aka White Tiger, just getting the piss beat out of him by some corrupt cops. Interesting scene. Matt just kind of inserts himself.
Why?
And just says, hey, I'm basically your lawyer now. And he does the thing where, well, I can't afford you. And he's like, don't worry about it, I got you. Because I'm Daredevil. No, he doesn't say that. Matt doesn't know that he's White Tiger, but these cops are basically beating this guy up. Say, like, hey, you're gonna confess to killing a cop because you're a cop killer, and fuck you. So Matt can tell he does a little heartbeat trick. Yep. Which he did kill a cop, but it wasn't intentional.
No, I'm saying the cops did. The cops were like, hey, man, you're going to sign this confession, and
for sure,
we're going to make sure you die.
So Matt asks him, did you do it? His heartbeat's normal. He says no. Okay, he's telling the truth. But then he says, is there anything else you need to tell me? Heartbeat quickens. And he says no. So Matt's like, okay, I know this guy's innocent, but he's not telling me the whole truth. And we all know what that truth is, obviously. Yeah. So
He's a tiger.
What is your knowledge of White Tiger as a character?
Not a lot, honestly. This will be kind of my first insight on him. I've never really seen or heard too much about him. I know he harnesses his powers through an amulet.
Okay.
That's about the most of what I know. So,
Yeah, I was gonna ask. They mentioned a couple times his amulet and his suit, and he's like, and we'll get into it a little bit later. But yeah, I'm gonna wait. We'll get into that in a bit.
right.
Next, we see Kingpin filling some holes. He's on the interstate to go somewhere. Yeah, gets out of his car. He's like, I'm Kingpin. I'm the mayor.
Yep.
Fill this hole. And this guy's like, there's all this red tape. We can't do it. And he's like, yo, red tape.
Pretty much.
Fill
Yeah.
it. And then he turns around and looks at the crowd and goes like this. I'm getting stuff done. And,
I'm pissed. Can I approve this message?
right.
Yeah.
A lot of political stuff going on.
I don't think that's how filling holes go, but I mean, he wants to fill that hole.
Yeah, and it was whoever manages the city
And then
there.
Daniel's
That's terrible. Did you see like the shot there? Just like, all right, here's this hole. Let's just go ahead and funnel 3 lanes of traffic into this one thing,
right,
and let's have them all funnel in right next to this hole. They act like this hole was just like created out of nowhere. Like they didn't think to like, hey, let's close off this road a little farther and divert them another way. But nope, let's get them all right up against this hole, and then we'll funnel 3 lanes of traffic into 1 lane. It's just like whoever manages that area just needs to be canned.
Welcome
right
to
now.
New York.
I was laughing so hard at that.
For real. That's some like Montana shit right there.
That is some Montana shit right there.
Yeah, not some New York shit.
Right. Then we get, well, it might be some New York stuff. You never know. Then we get the scene where they're back at his new law office, and I forget the name, Murdoch, and can't remember her last name. They're talking in this meeting room about this White Tiger, Hector, that they're bringing on as a client, and she's basically like, this is not a good case for us to take. But he's doing the thing where he says, I know he's telling the truth. This is what I said we'd do, take on innocent clients, help people who need it. And obviously, she says, fine, I'll help out. And he talks to Cherry, says, Cherry, dig into this. And he's like, this is not a good call. And Matt kind of tells him like, hey, I did my super hearing thing. I know he's innocent. Mm-hmm. Go figure it out.
Right.
So
he's like, how hard do you want me to dig, good sir?
Yeah.
And he's like the hardest.
Go deep, baby. And he did it. So
deep and wide. Split me open.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Yep. And then Matt takes his shirt off slowly.
Yep.
No, kidding. It's not what happened.
Dude, if he would have, I would have been there for that.
Ty's like, turn up the volume a little bit. Oh, what, babe? No,
Yeah.
It's Daredevil.
Close the curtains. No one's watching this.
All right. Moving on.
All right, yep.
Let's go to court.
Talk.
We go to what is a very quick court session, basically just to set the bail. I'm not a lawyer. The bail bond, whatever you want to call it, and the judge like immediately just says, "Yeah, you're accused of killing a cop. No, like you're detained. You're not going anywhere. You're remaining in prison until trial." Matt's not happy about this. He argues about it.
Nope.
He doesn't get anywhere. So.
Lightly.
Yep.
And then Hector kind of bitches a little bit. He's like, I thought you was going to protect me.
Right, yeah. He's like, I'm in good hands, huh? Which is what Matt told him when he first met him. And they'll talk a little bit later. We have not mentioned up to this point BB Urich and her little news inserts where she's kind of interviewing random people. Again, just probably another weak point for Matt, an innocent person that he's probably going to get connected to at some point that Kingpin can use against him. the scene that we're in now is an interview between her and Kingpin. Kingpin's one of his little helpers that's basically just like sucking him off the entire episode. Like, oh, you're so cool. I love you so much.
Daniel.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Yeah. Daniel's like, all right, you got 5 minutes. I called in a favor. And she basically goes in.
He's like, I love Kingpin.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he loves Kingpin,
No, it's
dude.
true. It's accurate. So she basically goes in, sits down, and is like, why is your marriage fucked up?
Yeah, pretty much.
And Daniel's like,
He
oh,
like
no. Don't ask that. Yeah, so she calls him on his bullshit.
This is true.
She also mentions
does.
the commissioner issue. The police commissioner and him are not friends, like even at all, a little bit.
At all.
So the entire
Hoping
police
we see
force
that later.
basically, well, no, you said earlier, half the police force, almost exactly, is basically like, hey, yo, this guy can kick rocks. We're like, well, nothing to do with him. So she mentions that. He doesn't give her any answers.
I think none at all. I think the clean half of the police force does not like Fisk, and then I think there's a little bit of the police force in Fisk's back pocket, as we can see in these 2 episodes that some cops are pretty dirty in New York. So
Dirty cops.
not real New York, sorry, police force in this TV show. So
the next scene is the one we talked about earlier. Is Heather? I'm gonna call her Heather because I'm pretty sure you're right. She's at a book signing.
yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, whatever.
Yeah. We're just reviewing a show. Who cares if we get the character's name right? She's at a book signing, and 2 people come to get their book signed. The first one is a young kid, curly-headed F, and this kid just screams, I'm a psychopath. He has a real...
screams something. Suicide, psychopath. Like, he even asks her, he's like, I need help. Please. Badly.
Yeah, he says, are you
So.
taking new clients? And she's like, here's my email.
I'll fit you in.
This guy's Muse. I'm 98% sure.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
This is Muse.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's not, he should be, because he looks like a psycho.
She's going to blow him off. Not the way you're thinking. He's going to try and email her. She won't email him back, and he's going to be like, fuck you, and go on a rampage. Mark my words. My words have been marked.
It's a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
And then the
I
next
can guess
guy
good.
that gets his book signed is Kingpin's little assistant crony guy. And we find out a little bit why that is. Then we go to the cemetery, the funeral of presumably the cop that was killed. And
Yes.
Kingpin shows up after the funeral and has a conversation with the current police commissioner, who, if you remember 15, 20 seconds ago, just mentioned, these guys are not buddies. They're not friends at all. He honestly
not even close.
hates his guts, kind of seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder why. Maybe because...
He brought up the mayor. I don't remember what year he said, but he goes, he only lasted a month. My goal is to get you out, and you can set the record for the least. God damn. He's like, I'm going to get you out of there so fast.
Mic drop.
Calls him a little boy. A little
Basically.
boy who wants attention. I was waiting for him to go full on Fisk mode, but he restrained.
Yeah, I'm sitting there
Kind
watching
of.
that, and I'm like, this guy's going to regret that. But, yeah, Wilson Fisk is a
He
well-known
He is.
convicted criminal, yeah. So, kind of makes sense.
He's done things.
Police commissioner. He has done some things. Can confirm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that is obviously going to be a interesting clash moving forward. Then,
Yeah, I mean, we kind of see a little bit of it right near the end of the clash, but I will let us keep rolling.
Yeah, no, you're good. Sorry, if you want to talk about something, just tell me to shut up.
You'll get there.
Then we go to White Tiger's house, and they're there asking his wife about him, trying to get some information so they could defend him better. And Cherry goes snooping around, and he finds, wouldn't you guess it, a white tiger costume with a little amulet on it.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so now they know. And this is what I was going to ask you
They know.
earlier. He does get the powers from the amulet, because I didn't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, without the amulet, he is just a normal man. I mean, he still knows, like, I don't want to say kung fu or karate because I'm sure it's something else, but he knows how to fight. Obviously, we saw that, and so yeah, the amulet is what gives him his like superhuman strength and abilities and all that stuff. But to the extent I do not know,
Turns him into a crouching
maybe
tiger.
someone in the comments can tell us. Yeah, hidden dragon style,
Good call. Hey, if you're watching
flaming
this,
dragon.
this is Flaming Dragon. If you're watching and you know, you know how, know more about White
Yes.
Tiger, hit us up in the comments below. Let us know. So
Yeah, and if you know about flaming dragon, also put that in the comment.
same, same. So,
Yes,
then we cut
we
to a
love the flaming
quick,
dragons.
we cut to a quick dinner. Matt and Heather are, as we mentioned earlier, the relationship has jumped quite a bit, or it's like a day later and they're
Yes.
already just getting after it. One of the two.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. Cherry calls Matt and says, "Guess what I found?" And then Matt goes to the prison, meets with Hector slash White Tiger, and basically says, "Hey, yo, bro, what the hell? You're
Hey,
White
yo, what
Tiger?
the fuck?
You're the White Tiger?" It's like, "You're not even white, bro."
Yeah.
And then he's like, says, and he actually mentioned this thing. He's like, "I didn't have my amulet, so not my fault."
Yeah.
Um,
He's like, I was just trying to help this poor guy out,
yeah,
which maybe this guy wasn't, in a poor state of mind. Who knows? But those cops are dirty, so I think maybe for the sake of it, yeah, he was just getting picked down, robbed, whatever we want to call it. So
yeah. And this is a one-sided conversation because Daredevil knows he's White Tiger, and he's like, "You're a vigilante. How could you? Why didn't you tell me?"
could you right?
And
I
imagine if
thought the
White
same
Tiger
thing too.
knew.
That's hilarious.
It's like, wait, you're,
Like, whoa,
but
hey,
bro, you're,
fuck you.
wait, you're doing this longer than me. Like, you're the reason I'm doing this. You're not doing
Mhm.
this anymore. Now I got to take your place. So, will that
Yeah, that's
come
funny, dude.
about later? Maybe.
Because he even does throw that out there. He says the people need me because Daredevil is not stepping up, or where's Daredevil to be found, or
Right.
whatever he says. And so he
Right.
kind of does throw a little bit of shade at that name, but yeah, how is he to know?
I cannot wait for the day White Tiger finds out. Like, this mofo is Daredevil. I
This
was in prison and he was
motherfucker.
like, "You're a vigilante. Why are you doing that?"
Right.
Okay.
Calling the kettle black or white in this case.
Ah, I see what you. Well done.
Ding dong. Yeah.
Then we go to a next scene where we get to watch Kingpin eat a sandwich.
Ooh, I love sandwiches.
Same. Same.
What's your favorite kind of sandwich? Don't be plain Jane on me.
I like a good cheesesteak.
Ooh, daddy.
Yeah. What
I
about
love
you?
Phillies. Yep, that's me too.
Really?
Phillies, dude, all the way. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, cheesesteaks for
Oh my
life.
god.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of cheesesteaks, Wilson Fisk is nomming down on one in this scene. Police commissioner comes in, and this is a really funny scene because the police commissioner is
is.
like, "Hey, I'm quitting, by the way. Half the force is coming with me, so have fun with that, douchebag."
Mm-hmm.
And then Kingpin's like, "Oh, okay, I'll make a deal with you. You're not getting any more candidates. You're not getting any pay raises. And there's no more overtime allowed. So that's the deal." And then he just like lifts up his sandwich, saying like, "I love Philly cheesesteaks. That's where you're from, right?" Lifts it
Mm-hmm.
up and slyly shows him a photo, taken incognito,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, of who I'm assuming is his wife and child.
Yeah, it has to be.
Right. What do you think?
Yep.
What do you
The
think
setup of that was
Kingpin's
the
saying
setup
there,
of that
Ty?
was so. Yeah, I mean, the setup of that is so funny because he's like, "You're from Philly, right? Like Phillies?" And then he's like, "What's that one place we like?" And his partner tells him, and he goes, "This is my favorite place," just to show him the wrapper and what it's called. And then boom, and yeah, his kids are sitting there. His kid is sitting there with what I would assume is his wife, and I mean, I'm sure he's just telling him like, "Hey, man, if you step out of line, I'm gonna take your wife out on a date." Right? Has nothing to do with murder.
Show her the 50 states.
Yeah, I'm gonna show her the 50 states of D nuts.
Got him. Dude, can you imagine how big his nuts must be? That's enough to kill somebody right
Yeah,
there.
dude,
Um,
kingpin sized. No, I'm assuming he is saying like, "Hey, dude, you mess with me, and you're also gonna die along with your family, or just your family, and I will watch you suffer." So, we are seeing that Kingpin is, or Fisk in this case, is not 100% rehabilitated, and after that conversation they had in the cemetery, he was like, "I can hold restraint when I need to, but now is not the time." So, and this also tells us that the people that are working for Fisk in the mayor's office are also willing to do some dirty work too. So,
yeah, because his assistant was standing right there. So
oh, and yeah, and he was like, "Well played, sir. I like that a lot." And then he goes, "This Philly sandwich sucks."
yeah, I know. He's like that sandwich was shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that part. Yeah, no, Kingpin's just surrounded by a bunch of yes men. He's like, "Oh, sir, you're
Hmm.
so good at this." Oh, yeah, it's pretty much
Oh
what
yeah,
happened all
Daniel
episode,
especially, dude.
dude. Yeah, so it's
Danny loves himself some Fisk.
that was some classic Kingpin BS. Hide your wife, hide your kids, cause he's gonna get them.
Hmm. Yep.
We then cut to a scene between the judge, Matt, and the city prosecutor. And the evidence that the guy is White Tiger, they're debating on whether or not that should be allowed. Contrary to
Yes.
our first court scene, Matt does come out on top here, and all the knowledge that he is White Tiger is not allowed, excuse me, to be admitted
Correct.
as info into this case. So a big win
Yep.
for
Which it
our
is a
boy.
big one for Matt. Yep, yep, yep. Going back to the Fisk thing, one thing we did not say about the commissioner, when he left, he did decide to stay on the force, and he also said, "You are gonna regret this." So there will probably be a little tension between those two. So
Yeah,
something we didn't say, but should
yeah,
be said. And then yeah, as far as winning that, that's huge because if the jury knows that he's a vigilante, I'm sure he loses that case 100 times out of 100. So.
right. Yeah, that commissioner says, "I'll stay on. Careful what you wish for." So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, big
Yep, he does.
little bit little bit of witty repartee there.
Yes. Ooh, yes.
Let's see.
Not afraid of Kingpin, just afraid of losing his family.
Right. Then we get a brief conversation between Matt and Sherry. They're talking on the dock, and Sherry basically says, "I'm glad you're not being Daredevil anymore. I like this version of Matt. He's doing some good. Don't go back to that place." Is basically how I remember that
Right.
conversation.
This was kind of the first conversation those two had that I felt was like a little friskier. Friskier might not be the word. A little more tense.
Right.
I feel like they were kind of arguing more so than talking. Because he's like, "Well, isn't this your job? Have you found this guy yet?" And he's like, "Dude's a ghost. How am I supposed to find him?" So
Yep.
I think they had a little bit of a collision there.
Yep. Um, then the next thing we see is the therapy session between Kingpin Wilson Fisk and his wife Vanessa. And the therapist is, of course, who else but Matt's new girlfriend Heather. Now, I think that's just a coincidence because unless Kingpin specifically knows that him and Heather are together, which how how wouldn't he
That's
know?
totally
How wouldn't he know?
possible, right? I mean, if he knows who the commissioner's wife and kid is, I mean, I'm sure he's got someone following Matt Murdock too.
Yeah, I'd be
So,
stunned if he didn't have somebody following him. So
right,
she's their
yeah.
therapist, and it's an interesting session. Vanessa basically says, "I he left. I kept the business afloat, and now he just wants to come back and just like act like nothing ever happened."
She keeps she keeps saying she had the business prospering. She doesn't say afloat. She goes, "I ran that business and it is the best it's ever been." And Fisk comes back, my husband comes back, God rest his bald head, and wants to just kick me to the curb. No, she ain't having it, dude.
No. So we get that, and then we get to what is probably my second favorite scene from the first two episodes. Matt is tracking one of the cops, the surviving cop, from the
Mm-hmm.
wow, my brain.
The
is,
dirty cop, the
the
surviving
cop
dirty
who
cop.
survived the encounter with White Tiger. Tracked him to his apartment, listening on with his ears to the guy's cell phone, and they found the guy that they were beating up. So Matt beats him there.
Yes, the witness.
Right. Finds the witness. Thank you. Matt beats him there and is like, dude, you got to get out of here. I'm a lawyer. I need you alive. I'm trying to protect you. Go out the window in 20 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, right now. Cops come in and chaos ensues, Tyrell, right?
Yeah, dude, the cops show up and they're banging on the door, and this part I thought was awesome. He just walks over and just unlocks it. He doesn't care. He's just like, yeah,
Step
come
into
on
my
in.
office, gentlemen.
Yep. And it does not proceed well for Matt at all, because they're like, where did he go? And he's just like, he's not here, and you will not find him. And so they are like, hey, dude, we're going to rough you up a little bit. And he plays the, oh no, but I'm blind. He does play that. And
I'll
they
say it
kind of put a
doesn't
beating
proceed
on
very
him.
well for the other guys either.
Oh, hell to the no. Because I mean, he gave him, he's like, I'll let you beat me up. I don't care. But then it was that one moment where they're like, yeah, dust this dude. And the guy's like, but he's a lawyer. And he's like, I don't really care. And they pull that gun, and that's when you tell him what happens. Because, oh, God. Finally see a little bit more of Daredevil.
Just glory happens.
Broken arms.
Dude, he proceeds to beat the absolute shit out of these guys and ends up killing them both. There is a scene where, like you just said, he breaks this guy's arm, like, this way.
Clean
like,
through.
bends it the way it's not supposed to.
Elbow out.
And there's a shot where they kind of, like, show the guy's wearing, like, a white t-shirt, of course. Breaks his arm, and you can see, like, basically where, like, the blood comes through, and it's in the shape of, like, his bone sticking out.
Yep.
I'm kind of a squeamish guy, and I saw that, and I was like, ugh, that was...
I saw that, and I got so rock hard, dude.
That...
I mean, I'm sorry, dude. I was just like, yes.
Shout out to the effects people.
I'm like, why are we talking so much? This is a Marvel show. Beat the shit out of someone, and then I saw it, and I was like, it was worth all the talking.
Marvel effects people made me want to throw up, and they got Ty aroused.
Yes.
That's when
this
you're doing good
stuff.
stuff.
This was a practice session, by the way, for Matt Murdock. He had no problem with these guys.
Yeah.
as awesome as it was.
He let out a little bit of rage there, like a little bit of pent up rage. So he kills the...
Yeah, he screams into the camera.
Yep. Yeah, so he kills the one guy, throws the other guy into a fridge multiple times, and then just, like, basically throws his head into the ground and just snaps his neck. When that happened, I audibly, like, involuntarily were like, oh! Like,
and we've seen that in the trailers. Who would have ever thought he's killing a cop in that trailer?
Yeah,
no one.
Saw it in the trailer, and it still knocked me out of my seat when I saw it happen.
Carson, riddle me this. Now what? Because there's 2 dead cops. I'm assuming the other guy's a cop. There's 2 dead cops in the witness's apartment. Either this A makes the witness look bad, or who was there, Matt Murdock, this makes Matt Murdock look bad. So is he going to dispose of 2 bodies? Is he a body disposer? I don't think so. I don't think he's that kind of guy.
No, I think...
So now what?
You have 2 corrupt cops, dead cops in this guy's apartment. Any competent judge? Well, it's a good question.
They don't know they're corrupt. So are they going to leave them there dead until they get this witness at court and they're like, oh shit, these guys are corrupt, and then they're like, oh, these guys are also dead in this witness's apartment? Not going to look good for anyone, dude.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to figure out what happened. They're going to try to figure out where... Well, because the witness was supposedly supposed to go to Cherry, so that's the next question. Did he make it to Cherry? Is he safe? And I think the next question will be for everybody else to try to figure out why are these two dead cops in this guy's apartment? Who killed them? Matt's a lawyer. I'm sure he'll figure out how to make it look like he wasn't there. But we'll see. I want more.
That's illegal. I do.
I want more. I need more.
And we have to wait.
The scream at the end of the episode was just, you could tell he was like, damn it, this is not what I wanted to do. Right. Like, I just murdered two cops.
Was it or was it a scream of like just pure anger? He's back. The Daredevil, the devil is just like, I'm back.
No, it struck me more as like, I didn't want to have to kill these guys.
Yeah, he does that same scream after he throws Bullseye off the roof. So.
Yeah, I think it's more of like I didn't want to kill these guys, and I had to. So I think.
Did he have to kill him? He probably could have just knocked him unconscious.
Well, that's a good point.
Maybe he's screaming because he's like, I can't control that dark side, like Kingpin said. Right. You know, Kingpin's like, you kind of liked it, didn't you, on that roof? And he's talked about crossing the line, doesn't want to cross it again, and he just crossed it again by killing 2 more people, police officers now, and I don't know, dude.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
We're on a journey together.
I love it, dude. I love it. That makes a lot more sense. I think you're right. I think he's mad at himself for killing these guys. So, real quick, I just wanted to say the music that they chose for like the end credits of the episodes, it was great. He was screaming like hard cut, and then like I don't know what the song is, but I remember thinking like the music at the end of this was whatever, random prop. I like it. So
they had music.
Ty, I think it's safe to say we're both pretty happy with these first 2 episodes, and we're ready for more.
Yes. Did you, by chance, notice any sloppy CGI that they had talked about?
I noticed in the very first fight scene when he slings up onto the door area behind Bullseye, and then like where he kind of blurry back there, and then he jumps down and attacks him. And then some of the fight choreography was a little bit.
Seen him. Yeah, I wasn't too worried about the fight, but anytime we see him swinging around, when he's like swinging from roof to roof and running and jumping on roofs, that's I could see what people are saying. Like when he whips in onto the catwalk, that was pretty CGI'd. Yeah. But why do people gotta be dicks and bitch about shit? Like, just have fun with it, dude. Enjoy it for what it is.
And it wasn't anywhere near enough for me to be like, oh, that's crappy CGI. This isn't as cool. Yeah, just CGI. It doesn't look very good. Well, the fact that he's beating the crap out of this guy isn't cool anymore. Like, no, it's shut up.
Shit.
You're still watching. You're gonna love it. Don't lie. So
yeah, right, exactly.
Well, we're coming up on an hour, Ty.
I agree with you.
This was everything I could have hoped for.
Was it good?
And more.
Yes.
We have.
Yes, I agree.
6 episodes left?
6
maybe 5.
Weeks then, huh? Or no,
I know they're doing
5 weeks.
They're doing 1 episode for the next 3 weeks, and then the last week they're doing the last 2 episodes. 2. So 2. So 7?
Yes.
So 2. 5 left. Regardless, guys.
7.
We're happy with this episode. Let us know
both
what you guys thought in the comments. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget, subscribe, like that, 2 thumbs up. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought. And look out for our reaction to episode 2. What's my favorite part?
Yeah. No, our reaction to episode 3, good sir. And I said in the comments, let us know your favorite part.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Tell us what got you chubbed up. Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. Let us know. So episode 3 reaction coming in 1 week. We got more stuff coming out though between now and then too though. So make sure you click that bell.
You can bet your candy ass on that.
Yes, sir. So thank you guys so much for watching.
Bring it.
If you made it all the way to the end. Ty, would you like to say goodbye to the folks? Oh yeah. Get in there. Bye-bye.
I'll check you nerds later.
What, are you waiting around for some Marvel-style post-credit scene? You are a real nerd. No post-credit scene. Just me working on our next video. Me and this subscribe button here. If you wanted to click on it, I could pretend not to notice. Here, I'll even look away. Oh, okay. You can have the room. I'll go get coffee or something.